Hi everyone, welcome to our day 2 training session of learning Oracle Goldengate Classic Architecture training. My name is Ashish Agarwal, and I'll be delivering this lecture to you. So before commencing the session, just a quick round of update regarding my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ashish Agarwal _GG. So if you haven't visited the channel, I would request you to do visit the channel and do like, share, and subscribe the channel. The channel is dedicated to Oracle Goldengate related videos. Thank you. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about Oracle Golden Gate certification matrix. We are going to discuss regarding how to download Golden Gate binaries, how to install Oracle Golden Gate, what is the difference between 19C and 21C Golden Gate installation. Then what are the different options to install Oracle Golden Gate, like what is Golden Gate Hub, what where you should be installing Oracle Golden Gate, different kind of options to install Oracle Golden Gate we'll be discussing about. And if time permits, we'll also discuss about prerequisites to set up Golden Gate, but I don't think we'll get that. Okay, so let us discuss about now. So in the previous lecture, we discussed about Oracle Golden Gate architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate architecture looks like this. You have source database and target database. Your source database can be any database, Oracle database, or any non-Oracle supported database. Same way, your target database can be Oracle or any supported non-Oracle database. So you configure Golden Gate extract process, which reads the transaction from the transaction logs. So in case of Oracle, those transaction logs are called as redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are called as archive logs. So once the Golden Gate extract process, which is also called as
Hello.
process, reads the data from the transaction logs, it captures committed transactions. Remember, your transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. But Golden Gate extract process captures only committed transactions. Now, once the transactions are captured, it writes them on the local machine under local trail file. So these local trail file resides on operating system. So extract process, whatever it captures, it writes them to the local trail. Once the transactions are returned into the local trail, Golden Gate data pump process reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes them to the trail file on target machine, which are called as remote trail file. So once the data is available into remote trail file, the Golden Gate replicate process reads the data from remote trail and applies it to target database. So there are three processes involved in Oracle Golden Gate replication. So this part comes when you configure Oracle Golden Gate. Now the thing is, before you can configure Oracle Golden Gate, you need to have you need to install Oracle Golden Gate, right? So before the configuration could be done, you need to install. And to install Oracle Golden Gate, you need to have certain checks in place before you can proceed to download and install Oracle Golden Gate. So let us now discuss about how to install Oracle Golden Gate. So before installing, we need to download. From where we need to download and what are the considerations? Let us discuss about that. Okay. So for Golden Gate installation. Okay. So first of all, what we are going to do is we have to, before you can proceed to download Oracle Golden Gate, what you need to do is you need to identify what is your source database type, what is your source database version, and what is your source platform. So Golden Gate binaries are database specific and they are platform specific as well. And you should also know what is the database version for which you want to install Oracle Golden Gate. Okay. Same way, you need to know what is your target database type, whether it is Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, or any other database. What is the version of the database? So like if it's Oracle, it is 11G, 12C, 18C, 19C, or 21C. Whether it is MySQL, like whether it is version 5 or 6. Same way, whether it is SQL Server, what kind of version you are using. Same way, you also need to know the platform as well. Like platform means the OS, what you are using. Okay. So in our case, the virtual boxes which are shared with you. So these are the virtual boxes which are shared with you. So these virtual boxes have Oracle database. So these virtual boxes, what you notice, they have Oracle database. Okay. They have database software 19C. So Oracle database version 19C is already there. and the platform, like the operating system which they have, is Enterprise Linux 7. So let me show it to you so we can quickly check. So it's same on both these virtual boxes which I shared with you. They have both. Okay. So in the previous session when we ended, so we started the database, right? So you see, it is select version from v dollar banner. Sorry, select banner from v dollar. I don't know. This mistake I always do. It's not like I intentionally did, but I always run this command instead of this. I don't know why. Okay. So see, Oracle database version is 19c, right? Okay. Second thing we need to know is what is the platform it has. So it's, if I do uname -a, it says it is Enterprise Linux 7. Okay. Now, once we have identified this, so this is very important. Okay. Now, in our case, because our source and so same information applies to GGate2 as well. So if you run the same thing on GGate2, you will get the same response. So this is very imperative when you install Oracle Goldengate. When you before you download Oracle Goldengate, you should note these things. Now, say for example, yes, in our case, we have source and target things as same. Now, suppose in your environment when you are working, you get different environments related to source and target. So you will be proceeding with installing Oracle Goldengate as per your target requirement. Okay. Now the question comes, which version we can proceed to download? So Oracle Goldengate has different versions like Oracle Goldengate 11G, Oracle Goldengate 12C, Oracle Goldengate 18C, Oracle Goldengate 19C, and the latest version is 21C. Oracle has also launched 23 AI as well, let me tell you. Okay. But there are two things. 23 AI is not available for classic architecture, first of all. So if you want to install only classic architecture, you can only use 21C. You cannot use 23i. Second thing is 23 AI. It is still in testing phase. Like not, it is not live in where I have seen like organizations are using it. Still, they're either using 19C or 21C, and mostly on classic architecture. And if they're on microservices, they are using either 19C or 21C. So 23i not available for classic architecture. It is only available for microservices. And another thing is 23 AI is still in testing phase. So right now it's not being used. So we are not discussing about 23 AI. But yeah, in future definitely I may upgrade it on. I will upgrade this course on 23 AI as well. Okay, so let us discuss about 21C because they are the most common versions which are used right now. In like, if I have to say, almost 90% of implementation should be there on these, and remaining are there on old versions as well. Some of the places they are still using 12C, like 12.3 or 12.2 as well. Okay, so during this training, we'll learn about all the, like, you will get the understanding and knowledge so that you can work in any environment. Okay. Now, so now once you have identified this version, like now the question comes, which version you should be installing, right? It depends on, first of all, whether it supports your environment, like your requirement, what you have, like, so say for example, you say, Ashish, which version should we go with? Whether should we go with 12C Golden Gate, 18C, 19C, or 21C? I always answer it like, you go with the latest supported version. So 21C, check. Now you need to check the certification matrix to understand whether Golden Gate 21C supports Oracle Database 19C and does it work on OS platforms Enterprise Linux 7 or not. Okay, so you need to identify this. So let us see how we can do. So to do that, you need to check the certification matrix. So guys, I always say one thing. It is very important, like when we are working as a Golden Gate administrator. So upon completion of this course, right, many of you are experienced, or almost all of you are experienced person, right? So upon completion of this course, you will go in an environment where like client will be looking over to you for all Golden Gate needs, right? And it is very important when you're working in IT industry. It is very important that we have to be right first time, right? We cannot do little mistakes. Like, say for example, I've seen people, what they do is they download Oracle Golden Gate 21c, but it doesn't support their environment, and then they waste resource, they waste time. And second thing is like, it doesn't provide good feedback to your customer as well, right? So it is very imperative that we should be right first time. Like small mistakes we can definitely not come in our work. So it is very important, not only Golden Gate, but whenever any technology you're working on, there is a certification matrix related to it. So check the certification matrix. Like database has certification matrix, same way your Golden Gate also has certification matrix. So check the certification matrix for the version which you are looking for. Check whether it supports your database type, database version, and platform you want to work. Okay. So let us download Oracle Golden Gate certification matrix. So what we'll do, download Oracle Golden Gate certification matrix. So go to Google. So what is there is Oracle Golden Gate is Fusion middleware product. So you can do Fusion middleware certification matrix because it is Fusion middleware certification matrix. So Golden Gate is a Fusion middleware product of Oracle. So you can search for Fusion middleware certification matrix. So go to Oracle Fusion middleware supported system configuration. Now in it, you will find all Fusion middleware certification matrix. So Oracle Fusion Middleware 21c certification. So this is certification matrix for 21c. Same way you can find for 19c as well, 18c as well. Same way you can find Oracle Golden Gate certification matrix here for 12.2, 12.3. I think 11G certification matrix was also there if I'm not wrong. If you see 11G R1, Oracle Golden Gate 11G R1 certification matrix is there. So all certification metrics are there. So now the thing is, check whether Golden Gate 21c supports your version or not. The database type, version, and OS you have. Okay. I'll click on enable editing. So go to this Golden Gate tab. So Golden Gate also supports for big data. So if you want to check certification for big data, etc., you can search for DA. DA stands for distributed distributed application and analytics. So let us check for database. So we'll click on this Golden Gate. Okay. Now here you will find, so the best thing with this is, so if anyone asks you in future, like which databases Golden Gate supports, so you can search here data store name. So you can find the name of the databases which it supports. So does it mean that Golden Gate only supports these databases, whatever are listed, like MySQL, Postgres, MariaDB, MySQL, Oracle, Postgres, SQL Server, or any other database, whatever is listed? So does it support only these? No. The thing is, Golden Gate 21c supports these databases. Okay, it is possible that support for 21c was not introduced for other databases. So you can check certification metrics for 19c then. Then check if 19c also doesn't support the database what you are mentioning, then check for 18c. Then check for 12.3. Then check for 12.2. And then you can check for 11G R1. I think there was also 11G R2 if I'm not wrong. Okay. Now, once you have, so what you need to do is now select the platforms, etc., as per your environment. Okay. So, so, so these are the product family, like these are the databases, exact databases which it supports. So I want to check the certification metrics for Oracle database because mine is Oracle database. I'll select only Oracle database. I'll click on OK. Now, Second thing what I'll check is data store name. Here I'll select only Oracle database. Okay. And then the platform for which we have it. So platform is, I'll go to processor type. Under processor type, so GoldenGate 21C, remember, only supports these two platforms for Oracle, Linux and Microsoft 64-bit, Microsoft Windows 64-bit. So if you have any other platform apart from Linux and Windows, and if you have Oracle database, so remember, GoldenGate doesn't support, GoldenGate 21C doesn't support any other platform. So if you have any other platform, then check 19C certification matrix, etc. Okay, so I'll select, because we have Linux x86 64, so I'll select only this. Okay, so now when I check this, I got all the answers. So here, if you see another thing, if you want to check the OS version now in Linux, this 21C supports Linux 7, it supports Linux 8, it supports RHEL 7, it supports Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, and it supports RHEL 9 as well. Okay, so the platform which we have is RHEL 7, so that's fine, it is supported. So this is supported. Then we have Oracle database. This is okay. So this GoldenGate 21C supports Oracle databases 11.2.04, 12.1.0.2. It supports 19C. It supports 21C. So these are the databases it supports. So our database is 19C. Platform is Enterprise Linux 7, and database is Oracle. So GoldenGate 21C supports. Okay, so we are good with this. So what we can do is now we can go ahead. So after checking the certification matrix, once we have identified, then we can go ahead and move to download Oracle Goldengate binaries. Same way, if say for example, you have for target. So in our case, we'll be downloading one binary that will serve for source and target both. But say for example, on source, you have got different binary. Okay. On source, you have got different database. On target, you have got different database. Then you'll have to select two different binaries, and you will have to check the certification metrics for both. So say, for example, on target, you have got SQL Server database. So what you need to do, you need to check the certification metrics for Oracle database. So there are multiple checks which we have done. So first of all, product family will select, instead of Oracle, I'll select, for example, SQL Server database. Okay, so now for SQL Server, if you want to check for Amazon RDS, Azure SQL, so you can check based on for which SQL Server database details you have, based on that you can download. So this Oracle Goldengate 21C supports Microsoft SQL Server 2012. It supports 2022. It supports 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019, and 2019 Linux is also supported. Okay, so you can check based on your requirement, and once that is done, you can proceed to download the GoldenGate binaries. Okay, so now once you've checked the certification matrix, so the whole purpose of checking the certification matrix is to ensure that the version which we want to download, the version which we want to download, it should be supported. So the latest GoldenGate version is 21C. The latest GoldenGate version is 21C. So we are going to use this version. We are going to download this version, and then we are going to install. Okay. The whole purpose why we are doing this is, the whole purpose is to ensure that the database version which we download, we are not, like, it should not happen that once we download it, it is not supported after that. Okay. So now what we can do is we can proceed to download GoldenGate 21C. So now we'll download. So we'll go to Google. So there are two options. You can download GoldenGate 21C either from OTN, or you can download from edelivery.oracle.com. So download Oracle GoldenGate 21C. So go to first link. It will take you to OTN. So here you can find, so now here you can find 23 AI binaries are also available. So 23 AI binaries you can find. So we'll go to 21C. So see, 23 AI binaries as of now, just for your information, as of now it is available for Linux platform and for Oracle Postgres or DB2 databases. Okay, so now 21C. So we are going to install 21C binaries now. Now, you see there are two types of binaries right now. So there are two types of architectures in Golden Gate to answer this. Oracle Goldengate Classic and Oracle Goldengate Microservices. So classic architecture is there since beginning. And initially when Goldengate was launched, when classic wasn't there or microservices wasn't there, there was only one type of architecture and it was called as Oracle Goldengate. So the one which says only Oracle Goldengate until 21C, it means it is classic architecture. And the one which says microservices, it means it is microservices related. Okay, just for your information, from 23 AI onwards, it's only microservices. There is no classic. So classic architecture is the 21C is the last version where classic architecture is available. So classic architecture is going to be deprecated for post 21C. So after that, if you see only Oracle Golden Gate, so from 23 AI, when you see Oracle Golden Gate, it means it's only microservices because there is only one type of binaries. There is no more classic architecture available. So that means it is microservices binary from 23 AI onwards. But until 21C, there is a segregation. So one which says only Oracle Golden Gate, it means it's classic architecture, and the one which says microservices, it means it's microservices binaries. So Golden Gate binaries are platform specific as well as database specific. Okay, so like you see here, so because this session is about classic architecture, so we'll focus on this classic architecture binaries. So Oracle Golden Gate 21.3 for Oracle on Linux. So if your platform is Linux and database type is Oracle, and if you want to install if you want to download and install classic architecture binaries, then you will select option number 1. Same way, if it's for microservices, so you will download this binary. Now, if your database, Oracle database is on Windows machine, you will download this binary. Same way for DB2 database, like different platforms like for LUW or ZOS, you have different binaries for each database. So for MySQL compatible databases on Linux, you have different binaries. Then Postgres, you have got different binaries. For SQL Server, you have got different binaries. Teradata, you have got different binaries. Times 10, you have got different binaries. So each database has its own binary based on the platform. So based on the binaries and platform, based on the available binary, you will download it. So in our case, it's Oracle database on Linux. So we'll go ahead and download this binary. So you can review and then you can download. So the software for this is not very big. It is in few MBs. So you will provide your Oracle password and then you can download it. Okay. So the software is only 330 MB. The software is only that big. Okay. Now, once the binaries are installed, what you need to do, you need to transfer them to your source and target server. So you can use either WinSCP or any other SFTP or SCP platform to transfer them to your source and target machine. Okay. So in our case, this GGate 1 and GGate 2 already have the softwares present for you. So the softwares are present under. So let me show you. So the softwares are present under uh, so softwares are present under slash home slash Oracle slash software. Under here you can find all binaries related to classic architecture 21C, microservices 21C is there. Then I have also made available classic 19C as well. And then you have got Veridata 12.2.1.4 as well as 12.2.1.2 as well. So both all these binaries are available under slash home slash Oracle slash software. So let me tell you guys, Goldengate is a software which is licensed product. Okay, Goldengate is a licensed product, but for learning and development and for training purpose, like if you're using it for your personal use, then you can use it. Okay, so you can use these virtual boxes. In these virtual boxes, you already have the software present. Okay, now you only have the software present, but from now onwards, whatever we are doing, like unzipping, installation, everything you will have to do. Okay. Okay. So now once you find the binaries present over here, now, so guys, we also have activity guides present with for each lecture. So in case if you want to follow the activity guides, so activity guides are available as well. So the link is already shared with you. They are available over the portal as well as they are available over the Google Drive. The link for that is already shared with you over the WhatsApp group as well. Like these notifications, what whenever I send any notification, so you get that. Okay, so I have also made available the certification matrix, but I recommend you to download the certification matrix from Fusion Middleware certification matrix link, because if they upgrade anything, you will find. Then you have got activity guide 1 and 2 for download and install Goldengate. Okay, so now once you have these binaries present, then you can proceed to install Oracle Goldengate. Now, one more thing, let me tell you. Now, when you go to this OTN, you find that only few binaries are present. Now, say for example, you want to download 12C binary. So, is there a way to download the old binaries? What do you think? So, OTN, so say for example, I want to download 12.2 binary, but it's not available over here. So how can I go ahead and download 12.2 binary? Anyone? Is there any way? If it's not showing on OTN, what is other way?
Use e-delivery.
E-delivery, exactly. So what you can do, you can go to edelivery.oracle.com. Here you sign in with your credentials. Okay. Now here you can search for Oracle Goldengate. Here you can find Goldengate related binaries for all versions like 12.2, dot 0.1, 12.2.0.2, 12.3, 18.1, 19.1, 21.1, 21.3, 23.4. So let us select 21.1. Now, when you select this, so click on view items over here, continue. Here, now you need to select the platform for which you want to download. So 21C, it says here, only it is there for Linux. But in case if there are multiple like platforms. So you need to select for which platform you want to download. Then click on continue, and then you can review and download accordingly. Okay. So once download is completed, you can transfer it to your your machine. Okay. So now once the download is completed, now what you can do is you can proceed with installation of the Oracle Goldengate. Okay. So how you can do? So let us do the installation of Goldengate 21C right now. So When you proceed to install Oracle Goldengate, there are two ways to install Oracle Goldengate. First is GUI and second is silent installation. So Goldengate also supports GUI as well as silent installation. So let us first do GUI and then I'll show you about silent installation. Okay. So let us download or sorry install Goldengate 21C. OGG underscore classic 21C. Now here, when you transfer your binary, it comes in zipped format. So this is zipped. So what you need to do, you need to unzip it. So then unzip. So first you need to unzip it. Now guys, another important part with Goldengate is your source can be on higher version, target can be on lower version or vice versa. Your source Goldengate can be on lower version and target Goldengate version can be higher version. Goldengate can replicate the data without any issues. Okay, so the uninstallation has been completed. So we'll go to this folder, FBO. Now we'll go to disk 1. Here you will see this run installer. So you need to set the display to run this if you are doing GUI installation. So to set the display on these virtual boxes from Oracle user run xhost space plus, it will set the display. You will get this message access control disabled. So it means your display is set. Now run runInstaller. So it will do some temp space check, swap space check. Then it will check the display. And once everything is passed, then it will show you the OUI. Okay. Now here you have got this Oracle Universal Installer OUI. So now this 21C database, it asks you to select for which version of database this Golden Gate is required to be used. So let me give you an brief about this. So this is a change or this is a new feature in Oracle Goldengate 21C. This is called as Unified Universal Build. So Goldengate 21C is Unified Universal Build feature. So what does it mean? So it means that until 21C, sorry, until 19C, when Goldengate was there, it used to ask for the database version for which you want to install this Goldengate for. So let me show it to you. What I can do is I can take another window. Practically, if I show you, that would be much better. So I'll go to /home /Oracle /software. I'll go to OGG underscore classic underscore 19C. Here as well, we need to unzip this. This is 19C. Once unzipping is done. So this is 19C, okay? I'll go to FBO GGS Linux ship home. I'll go to disk 1, expo space plus. Now I'll run runInstall. Okay. Now you will see the difference between the two once it opens up. Okay. So what I was mentioning is 21C has unified build support. So what happens is Oracle Goldengate 21C is not database version specific. Okay. So you see on your screen, on your left, you have got Oracle Goldengate 21C, and on your screen on your right, you have got Oracle Goldengate installation for 19C. Okay. So what difference you see? The difference is Oracle Goldengate 21C, when you are installing GoldenGate, it is asking for like it is not asking for the database version of the database for which you want to install this Oracle GoldenGate 21c. So the thing is, until 19c, the GoldenGate version was database library specific. Okay. So what used to happen was until 19c, you had to provide the version of the database for which you want to install Oracle GoldenGate for. So say for example, your database version is 19c and you want to install this GoldenGate for 19c. So you need to select the correct database version. Otherwise, you won't be able to launch your GoldenGate. Same way, if your database version is 18c, select Oracle database 18c and 19c GoldenGate. If you're so GoldenGate 19c database, sorry, Oracle GoldenGate 19c supports database versions 11g, 12c, 18c, and 19c. Okay. Same way, GoldenGate 21c supports all of those along with that 21c database as well. But the thing is, if you in Oracle GoldenGate 21c, you have got unified build support. So basically, you don't need to provide the database version for which you need to install this GoldenGate for. But if you are using Oracle GoldenGate 19c, you have to select the correct database version for which you want to install this GoldenGate for. The reason being, let me tell you the reason. The reason being, Oracle GoldenGate uses database related libraries until 19c. So if you go to, like, let me give you example, like, let me show you practically. So each database has its own libraries, each database version. So like say for example, I'll go to Oracle home /lib where library files are present. So here you will find, see, so 19c, because our database version is 19c, so we have 19c related libraries here. So if you have 12c database, you will see here 12. Instead of 19, you will see 12. If you have 18c database, you will see instead of 19, you will see 18 over here. If it's 21c, you will see 21 over here. So GoldenGate uses database libraries until 19c. From 21c, it no longer uses the libraries. It already has the required libraries. So that's why you need to select the correct database version when you're installing Oracle GoldenGate 19c. But in 21c, that's no longer a requirement because it already has the required libraries, whatever is required. Okay. So now we'll use Oracle GoldenGate 21. Let us install Oracle GoldenGate 21c first of all. So now you need to select there is only one option, select it and then click on next. Now in the next screen, it will ask for the software location. Now let us discuss about the installation requirement related to Oracle GoldenGate. Okay. Now there are certain hardware requirements which you need to meet before you can proceed to install Oracle GoldenGate. Now the thing is, say for example, you are after completion of this training, you are expected to work as a GoldenGate architect. Now, being a GoldenGate architect, your responsibility not only lies in setting up GoldenGate or configuring GoldenGate or managing GoldenGate. Apart from that, your responsibility also lies in defining the server, like what are the server related requirements for Oracle GoldenGate. Okay, so these are the installation requirements. Let us discuss about different installation requirements, like how much space you need or different things. Let us do that. Okay, so before proceeding with installation, you need to define the location where you need to install Oracle GoldenGate, right? So you need to define the location where you will be installing this Oracle GoldenGate. So you may install this Oracle GoldenGate either in separate mount point or any existing. So you can decide where you want to install this Oracle GoldenGate, right? So it could be either your separate mount point or it could be any of the existing mount point as well. So if you want to download it under a separate mount point. So in that case, you can create a mount point like say, for example, /GoldenGate or slash OGG or any other mount point, right? Or you can install Goldengate under the existing mount point as well. So existing mount point could be, in our case, it is slash data or any other mount point. Now the thing is, if you wherever you are installing, whether you are creating a new mount point or existing mount point, so you need to define the space for it, right? So to consider how much space you need for installation, understand the requirement, do research and do design accordingly, provide the requirement accordingly. So we'll be discussing about that based on what calculation criteria you can do that. Okay, so these are the hardware requirements. Let us discuss about the hardware requirements for Oracle Goldengate. Now for Oracle Goldengate, how much CPUs you need? 4 or 8 core CPU should be fine for Goldengate. So if your Goldengate is, if you are setting up Goldengate in your, the more the better it is. But if your Goldengate 4 core or 8 core CPU can handle 250 to 300 Goldengate processes without any concern. Okay, so you need to first of all provide how much CPUs you require. So once you have identified how much CPU you require, okay, so either it is 4 core CPU or 8 core CPU. Then how do you calculate the space? How much space you need for the mount point? So for the space wise, you need to first of all identify whether you want to add new mount point or use existing mount point. Okay. Now accordingly, you will add the space, whether it is new mount point or existing mount. Okay. So how do you calculate the space? On what basis the space requirements are calculated? So each person has its own space calculation criteria. Okay. For me, I follow this. So it's not like it may be possible that when you are working, you may have different calculation criteria. So each, you are also right, and what I'm telling you, it's also right. Okay. So you can follow anything. So what I follow is for space calculation, when I analyze, so it is very imperative for us to have the correct space available. And at least whatever space we are proposing, that should suffice for minimum 2 years, to next 2 to 5 years. So we take future growth in mind as well. Because it's not like today we are looking for 200 GB and tomorrow again we are asking them to add 100 GB as well. That won't work. Okay, so on what basis we'll do the space calculation? Let us discuss. So what we do is, for space calculation, we identify last 30 to 60 days archive log generation. Like how much archives have been generated per day in last 30 or 60 days. Okay. Based on that, you will identify. So say for example, on one day, 20 GB was generated. On another day, 1 GB was generated. On third day, 100 MB was generated. And on one day, 100 GB of archives were generated. So what I do is, this is my way. So I identified last 30 or 60 days archive log generation. Now, once I've identified that, what I do is I identify highest 7 days archive log generation. So say for example, the highest archive log generation is like 100 GB on one day, 20 GB on another day. So whatever the highest archive log generation were, so I take out 7 most highest archive log generation days. Then what I do, I take average of those 7 days highest archive log generation. Okay. So say for example, the average comes out to be 25 GB. Okay, so average of 7 highest archive log generation, the average comes out to be 25 days. Now, based on the customer's requirement, based on the customer's requirement, we so the thing is, what Golden Gate does, it captures the data and writes to the local trail. So basically your local trail will reside under the mount point. Whatever mount point we are creating, the trail files will reside in those mount points. Okay, now in those mount point, we require them to store those mount points. So just like we store your archive log, right? Right. So your archive logs are stored. In the same way, you need to store these trail files for some days, so that if there is any data issue comes or anything else happens, you can have your trail files available, right? So you will have to store your archive, so your Golden Gate trail file. That's why you need space over here. So what we do is we take average of 7 days highest archive log generation, and then based on the customer's requirement. Now each customer has its own requirement. Like some customer may want to keep the trail files for 7 days. Some may want to keep it for 3 days. Some may want to keep it for 15 days. But as a best practice, generally organization keeps the trail files for 7 days. So whatever average you got, okay, you multiply it by number of days you want to keep it. Okay. So suppose the average came out to be 25 GB and we want to keep the archive logs for the trail files, Golden Gate trail files for 7 days. So we multiply them, the amount comes to be 175 GB. Okay. Now we need minimum 175 GB based on today's requirement. Based on today's archive log generation, we need minimum 175 GB of hard disk space. Now we need to consider future growth as well, like for next 2 to 5 years. So what I do is I multiply this by 2 times of 5 times, and based on that, I request for the space. So say for example 175 GB I come across, that 175 GB would be the required space as of today. Then I multiply it by either 2 or 5, and based on that I request for the space in mount point. So either I'll be requiring around 350 to 800 GB of space for mount point, for the Golden Gate installation and storing the trail files. So 350 to 800 GB you can consider I would request for. And guys, remember one thing, it is very easy, based on my experience, and you might have also noticed, initially when the project is in the initial phase, it is easy for you to request for the hard disk. But once the project is live, after that, getting or adding the space becomes really very challenging, right? So initially, if you can request for, say, for example, 800 GB of space, you also have the leeway in that. Like if they question, you can tell them that it's for the future growth, right? So they will understand and provide you the required mount points. Okay. So based on the calculation criteria you have followed, you can achieve this requirement. Okay. So we are requesting for 350 to 800 GB of hard disk space for based on today's archive log generation, and this should suffice for next 2 to 5 years. So if we can get 800 GB, then it should suffice for 5 years. If we can get only 350 GB, it should suffice for at least 2 weeks. Okay. Okay. So this is how you can define like how much space you want. Now, some people, what they do is, this is my way of calculating the space. Some people, what they do is, instead of averaging out, they do it based on the highest archive log generation. So as per them, what they think is like one day 100 GB have generated. So say for example, there are 7 days together where 100 GB has been generated. So what they do is they do this calculation, whatever calculation we have done, they do this calculation based on the highest archive log generation. Okay. Then third thing, what is required, what you need to define or understand is which OS user you need to use to install Oracle Golden. That is another important thing. whether you should use Oracle user or you should use any other user like ggadmin or ggate, which user you should install Oracle Goldengate with. So if you are working in the environment where DBAs will be managing Goldengate, then use Oracle. But if in your environment, your Goldengate and database administrator responsibilities are segregated, like database is managed by different team and Goldengate is managed by different team. In that case, you can use separate users, like Oracle user for the database, and for Goldengate, create a separate user like GGS user, GG user, or GG admin, and use that user to install and manage maintain Goldengate. So you can do any. So for our training, what we'll be doing is we are installing Goldengate in existing mount point slash data, and second thing is we'll be installing Goldengate with Oracle user. Okay. Okay. So let us now proceed to install Oracle Golden. So these are the requirements when you have to install Oracle Golden. So let us now proceed to install Oracle Golden. Now, in the previous screen, we saw that this 21C supports the supported database. We don't need to select the database version. Now on the next screen, when we have to install Goldengate, we require to provide the software location. So software location means the location where Goldengate binaries will be installed at. Okay. So we are going to install these binaries under slash data app Oracle. Here we can create a new directory OGG underscore SRC, for example. So because this will act as source, that's why I'm naming it like OGG underscore SRC. Click on next. Now, so Goldengate binaries will be installed in this particular location. So Goldengate installation will happen in this location. Now on the next screen, it asks you to start the manager. Okay. So in the previous session or at the starting of today's session as well, we discussed about Goldengate architecture. So Goldengate architecture has these components like capture, pump, and replicate processes along with their trail files. Now, each Goldengate environment has a manager process. So manager process, as the name suggests, it manages these Goldengate components. So these are the components of any Goldengate environment like extract, pump, or replicate or trail files. Right? So all these are components. So to manage all these in your Oracle Goldengate environment, what you need to do is you need to basically ensure. So each Goldengate environment has a manager process, and that requires a port to run on. So this is what it says. So there is an option of starting the manager during installation itself, or if you don't want to choose that, that's also okay. So let us choose the option start manager. If you choose it, you also need to provide the port number on which this manager would run. Okay. So the default port on which manager runs on is 7809. You remember you can choose any port. It's not mandatory that you have to choose port 7809. You can choose any port. Just ensure that that port should be free, that port should be open, and nothing else should be running on that particular port. Okay. So once you have done that, click on next. Now, once you have done this, now if you want to save the response file, so say for example, in your lower environment, like dev environment or non-prod environment, you have in your non-prod environment, you can do GUI installation, but in production, you're not allowed to do GUI. You have to do only silent. So what you can do, you can save the response file from your non-prod environment and use that response file for installation on production. Okay. So I'm saving the response file under /home/Oracle. Click on install. So Goldengate installation will happen. So Goldengate installation should not take more than 2 minutes. Installation is pretty quick. So 49% has happened. So it is copying the file, then it will link the binaries. Okay. So Goldengate installation has been done successfully. Click on close. Now go to the location. What was the location? /data app Oracle OGG underscore SRC. So this is your Goldengate home. Data app Oracle OGG SRC is your Oracle. Now, once you have installed Oracle Goldengate, okay. So now you see your Goldengate installation is done. Now here in Goldengate, you have got an executable, which is called as GGSCI. That signifies it is classics. ls-lart GGSCI. So GGSCI stands for Goldengate Software Command Line Interface. So it is classic architecture way of setting up Oracle Goldengate. So this is how you set up. This is how you set up Oracle Goldengate in classic architecture using GGS. Okay. So let us log into GGSCI. How do you do that? It's an executable. So do /GGS. So once you do that, you will be into GGSCI prompt. Goldengate Software Command Line Interface prompt. Then to check what all processes are configured in your environment, do info all. Do info all. So when we do info all here, we see that manager is running. How come? Did we start the manager? How come the manager is running right now?
We selected when
We choose
we
one.
started.
Exactly. We selected the option start manager. That's why your manager is. So each process in Goldengate has a parameter file. So you can check the parameter file of manager. So here you see, we'll be discussing about this parameter file in detail during the later part of this training, like from next session onwards. But yeah, just for your information, each process in Goldengate has a parameter file associated to it. Okay. And each process works according to the parameters provided in the parameter file, whether it is manager, extract, pump, or replicate process. Okay. So when we do view param MGR, so view param and process name shows you the parameter file. And this parameter file was created because we selected the option. We selected the option start manager during the starting itself, during the installation itself. Okay. So this port 7809 came here because of that. Okay. Once you have done it, so to check what all processes you have in your Goldengate environment, you can do info all. So it will list out what all processes you have in your environment.
Ashish, I have one question.
Now, if you want to uh, let me exit from here. Now under this, I'll give you a chance, guys, to ask the question. But if it's any urgent question, you can post in the chat window. Okay. Now, when I exit from GGSCI, okay, upon exiting from GGSCI, one very important thing is you see these directories. Now, these directories are very important directories like dir, rpt, dir, prm, dir, dmp, dir, wlt, dir, chk, dir, crd, dir, dat, dir, def, dir SQL, dir TMP. So these are very critical directories. Like dir RPT is a directory which stores the report file. Dir PRM stores the parameter file. DMP stores dump files. Wallet is a wallet directory for Goldengate. Dir CHK is a checkpoint directory for Goldengate. Dir CRD stores credential store. Dir dat stores the trail files. The trail files which are generated, the default location comes under Goldengate home /dir. Then you have dir def for source and target different structures. So there are different directories. So right now, if you go to, say, for example, dir PRM, so basically these directories govern whatever output you are getting on with info all, right? So whatever output you are getting from here, right, over whatever output you are getting over here, so the output is provided to you based on these directories, information available in different directories. Okay, accordingly you get the output in info. So say for example, I did view param mgr, right? It showed me the parameter file content. So from where the parameter file content is being shown? So if you go to dir prm, data app Oracle OGG underscore src, go to dir prm. So here, if you see, you have got mgr.prm. So you can cat it directly from here. So use cat mgr.prm. So you see the port number 7809. So basically, whatever output you are getting at GGSCI level, you are basically getting them from these directories like dir prm or dir rpt or any other directory. Okay, so these directories are very critical directories. All these directories are very critical directories. So whatever output you get at GGSPI level, that output you are basically getting from these particular directories. Okay, you will understand more about these directories. I'm just giving you the overview right now, but you will understand more about these directories when we are working on it. This dir chk is very critical directory, stores the checkpoint information. Okay, so Golden Gate installation of 21C is completed successfully on Ggate 1. Let me show you now 19C installation. What is the difference? So the major difference between Golden Gate 21C and 19C Golden Gate installation is Golden Gate 21C has unified build support. Let me type it. It is called as unified build support. So Golden Gate 21C has unified build support. That means the same binary works for 11G, 12C, 18C, 19C or 21C database. You don't need to provide the database version for which you don't want, for which you have to install Golden Gate. But in 19C, you have to provide the database version for which you want to install this Golden Gate for. Because Golden Gate 19C is database libraries dependent. It is database library dependent. So say for example, if your database version is 19C, you have to select database 19C. If your database version is 18C, you have to select 18C. And same way for 12C and 11G as well. So now let me show you. Let me install Oracle Golden Gate 19C for you. And what I'll be doing is I'll select the wrong version for you right now. Okay. Let me select. So in this scenario right now, what we are doing, we are right now going to discuss installation of Golden Gate 19C. So let me go to softwares again. Let us now discuss about how to install Golden Gate Classic Architecture 19C. So to install Golden Gate Classic Architecture 19C, we'll go to OGG underscore classic 19C. Here, We'll go to FBO GGS Linux ship home. So the binaries you can download from e-delivery or OTN. Then you can transfer your binaries. So your binaries will come in zip format. 19C binaries for Linux, it will come in zip format. Once you unzip it, it will be unzipped on this folder. So now we are going into this folder. Then go to disk 1. Then there is runInstaller. So you need to run this runInstaller. So select runInstaller. So of course it requires a display set if it's not done, because we are doing the GUI installation right now. So the OUI will pop up in front of you. So now when you are installing Goldengate 19C, so the unified with build support of Goldengate is launched in 21C. But until 19C, there is no unified build support. It means that you need to provide the correct database version for which you want to install this Goldengate for. So say, for example, today you install Goldengate for 12C, you have Oracle database 12C, and then in future, you want to upgrade your Oracle database to 19C. In that case, you will need to redo the reinstallation of Oracle Goldengate. That's the thing. Okay. So now in our case, the database version is 19C. So we can select this 19C version. So let us install. Let me show you first of all what happens if you select the wrong version. So I'll select this Oracle database 18C. Okay. In our case, we have got database version 19C. Okay. So we are supposed to select 19C, but to show you what happens when you select the wrong version, that's why I'm selecting 18C. So I'm selecting Oracle Goldengate for Oracle database 18C. Click on next. Now you need to provide the software location here. So the software location we'll use is data, app, Oracle. Now here I can create a folder OGG underscore 19C, for example. Click on open. So Goldengate 19 says. So it will ask for whether you want to start the manager. Okay. And it will ask you for the database location. It will automatically select this is the database location. Then it will ask you for the manager. So remember, nothing else should be run on that particular port. Okay. So I'll select 7809. The different manager is running on. So we'll provide the different port number. Say, for example, I'm providing 8080. As I said, any port number you can provide, just ensure that that port should be open and nothing else should be run on it. Click on next. So here itself it is saying, you see that one thing, what you notice here is during the installation itself, it is giving you the option that the database version in specified database location is not supported for selected install option. Are you sure you want to continue? So you can see that, right? So even if you install, it won't work. So let us select no. I'll click on back. I'll go to 19C and click on next again. Okay. So now I've selected the correct version. Let me click on next and then click on install. If you want to do the silent installation, you could have saved the response. So now the installation of Oracle Goldengate will happen successfully. Suppose if you would have proceeded, it would have installed, but Goldengate wouldn't have worked in that case. Okay. So it is done. So I'll go to data, app, Oracle, OGG underscore 19C. Here you can do /GGS. So it says error while loading shared binaries. libnz.so cannot open shared object file. So the thing is, in 19C, you have to export the LD library path. You have to define the library location. So what you do, you can do export ld underscore library underscore path equal to Oracle home slash lib. Oracle home slash lib. Okay. You go. So because why we have to do it is, let me show you. As I told you, until Goldengate 19C, data Goldengate is database library specific. So if you go to this location, for example, you can find your libnz 19.s. See, it's here. But the thing is, the path wasn't defined. So we need to define LD library path. Once we have defined, now go to your data app Oracle OGG underscore 19C. Now run dot slash ggsci because your library path is set. Now you can see it. Okay. Info all, if you see, you can find. Okay. So your Goldengate 19C is also installed now. Now, say for example, let me show you one more thing. These are very important things which I'm showing it to you right now. See, you can understand right now. We think that Goldengate installation is very easy. It is easy. I'm not saying it is very tough, but it is very important for you to learn and understand the different concepts. Like if you do the wrong installation, what might happen? Why it might happen? Because until 19C, Goldengate uses these libraries. So say for example, if your database version is 12C, so you will have libnz 12.so. If your database version is 18C, you will have libnz 18.so. Okay, this is how it works. Let me show you quickly one more thing. Exit slash home slash Oracle slash softwares ls. I'll go to OGG underscore classic underscore 19C under FBO. Let us try to install this again, 19C, but I'll select wrong version. I'll run installer. So you see that when we installed Goldengate and when we selected the option of starting the manager, automatically these directories are automatically created as well. Now what I'll do, I'll select this option. I'll select the wrong option, for example. I'll select 12C. I have database 19C, but what I'm saying is install the Goldengate for Oracle database 12C. Okay. Click on next. Okay. Click on next here. Okay. Now, once you have done that, let us provide the software location. I'll provide slash data app Oracle. Here I'll create, for example, OGG underscore 19C underscore wrong, for example, because I know it is wrong, right? That's why. Click on open. Okay. Now, suppose when I select the start manager option, it will give me this option that this is not supported, right? I need to provide the different manager port, of course. I'll provide, say, for example, 7810. Okay. Now, it will give me this option that it is not supported. But suppose if I don't choose this option, I don't start the manager, then it doesn't know anything about the database. And then I click on next. And then you install. The installation will happen without notifying you anything. Okay. Installation will happen without notifying you anything. So now it says Oracle Goldengate installation was successful. Oracle Goldengate installation was successful. Now go to your location where you have installed this Golden Gate basically. Now you can go to the location where you have installed Golden Gate. So go to data, app, Oracle, then go to OGG underscore SRC, OGG underscore 19C underscore wrong. Okay. And then here, what you can do is you try to run GGSCI. Try to run GGSCI. Okay. Now see, because we selected Oracle Golden Gate for Oracle Database 12c, hence it is looking for this libnz 12.so. It is looking for libnz 12.sso here, right? Which is not present. Now you need to go to database library location and search if libnz 12.sso is present or not. But it's not present, right? It's not present. It's because you have database version as 19c and libnz 19.sso will be present. Libnz 12.so won't be present at all, right? So this is why it uses, this is how it uses your database libraries. This is how it knows. So there is no way you can import your binaries related to 12c database, and hence it cannot work. Okay. So I just wanted to show you why this is like library dependent. So now if you have installed it, if you have to deinstall it, is there a way? Yes. If you want to deinstall it, there is a folder called as deinstall. Go to deinstall folder, run deinstall.sh. So what it will do is it will deinstall this Golden Gate. Okay. And another thing which I want to show you is, now you may have a question, Ashish, how come in 21c it doesn't require libraries? So go to data app Oracle. Here go to OGG underscore SRC. This is 21c, right? There is a folder called as, just 1 minute, deinstall diagnostic install. When we install Golden Gate, it comes, I completely, it install, cd install, not this one. Okay, I'll show you. Let us do installation of Golden Gate on Ggate 2, and I'll show you what I wanted to show. Why am I missing it? It's completely I forgot the folder name exactly. Which, okay, I'll show it to you. Okay, so this is how you do installation of Golden Gate on either 19c, 21c on your environment. Okay. Now let me show you the Golden Gate installation on Ggate. We can do the silent installation as well. So Oracle. So I'll go to new window here. So what we'll do is here as well. So let me do one thing, because we want to do the silent installation. We did save the silent installation OGG core.rsp, right? Cat OGG core.rsp. So this is instant client. Okay, this is the yeah, this folder we need to. So let me transfer this file. cd home Oracle OGG core. Oh, sorry, not cd. ls OGG core dot rsp scp OGG core dot rsp Oracle at ggate2 colon slash home slash Oracle. Okay, so I have transferred this OGG core.rsp to target. Okay, so this is the location where your libraries are present. So from 21C, it automatically comes with the binaries actually. So here you have got instant client. Okay, so see, here you have got 21C related binaries like libnnz21.so is already present. So 21C automatically have all the required binaries which are required by this Golden Gate. Okay, so you don't need it doesn't refer to database specific binary. Golden Gate binaries automatically have all the libraries present which are required. Okay. Okay. So now let us go to ggate2 and we'll try to do the silent installation. So I'll go to slash home slash Oracle slash softwares. Okay. I'll go to OGG underscore classic underscore 21C. Unzip. So while the unzipping is happening, Saurabh, I think you had a question, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me.
Am I audible?
Yes.
My question is this. Here we are doing via Oracle user, right?
Uh-huh.
And we have discussed we can also install via GG admin and one more user is there, right?
Yeah, you can use any other user apart from, if you don't want to do it from Oracle user, you can do it via any other user. Just ensure that that user should be part of OInstall group. That's it.
So suppose that I want to install here. So for this, I need to create a separate user along with the required permissions, right?
Ha ha ha.
And then I have to log in that user. Then I have to install.
Yes, correct, correct, correct. Just ensure so everything will be same. Just Oracle user, sorry, any user which you are creating like GG user or any other user, just ensure that that user, whatever you are creating at OS level, that user should be part of OInstall user.
Okay.
That's
And
the only.
one more thing, yeah, and one more thing is there. Earlier, I was a part of AT&T. Okay, so I have seen in everywhere we are using old Oracle Golden Gate. So in suppose that I am working in the present, then how I will identify uh, is Oracle Golden Gate is installed or not? What is the location and how I will start using it?
Very good. I'll answer that question in some time. But very good question.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are now going to we are going to do the silent installation. Okay. So to do the silent installation, what we'll do, we'll go to that oggcore.rsp for silent installation. We need to create a response file basically, right? So for response file, this will remain same. Do not change the following system generated value. That's fine. Second thing is in install option Aura 21C. So that we don't need to change again. Then we need to provide the software location. So the software location is where we want to install this Golden Gate. So because this is ggate2 and this will serve as target, I'll name it as OGG underscore TRG. Okay. Then do we want to start the manager? Do we want to, so when we installed in ggate1, we selected the option start the manager, right? Now we don't want to start the manager, suppose we don't want to do that. Okay. So what we can do? We don't provide any option. So that means when we don't provide any option in silent, so when we do GUI, we just uncheck. When we do in silent installation, just choose the option start manager equal to nothing. So the thing is, you have to, it asks for the database location, right? So the database location is required only when you are using starting the manager. Or there is a question from Siva that while installing Goldengate, is it mandatory to keep the DB up? So no, it's not mandatory. Your database can be down. Okay. It's not mandatory for you to have the database. So we'll choose the option of not starting the manager. So we don't need the port number as well. Now we don't need to provide the database location as well. Anyways, it won't be used because we are not starting the database, starting the manager. Rest all is okay. Save it and close it. Okay. So your response file is created. Now what we'll do, we'll go to the software location /home/oracle/softwares.
Ashish, can I ask one question?
/home/oracle/softwares. Then we'll go to OGG underscore classic underscore 21C. Here we'll go to FBO, then disk 1. Here, now we have to run installer in silent mode. So what we'll do run installer -silent. Okay. We'll do run installer hyphen silent, then hyphen we need to give the response file. Hyphen response file, and then the response file location, which is /home/oracle ogg core.rs. Okay, so we are running it in silent mode and we are using the response file available in this location. And remember one thing, we are not using the option of starting the manager. Okay. Enter. So now your installation will happen. Okay. Now there is a question which is very valid question. What about Goldengate 21C version and DB lower version? The library file is compatible for other lower database version. So remember one thing, Sridhar, very good question what you have mentioned. So guys, this question is coming from Sridhar because I showed you, right, one thing, that Goldengate 21C automatically comes with database libraries, which ends in 21, right? Now the thing is, we have database version here is 19C. So database is not 21C. So basically this library is now basically universally used by Golden. So Goldengate is already, so basically what was happening is, prior to Goldengate 21C until 19C, Goldengate was using database libraries. So Goldengate was using database libraries present in Oracle home/lib. But from 21C, Goldengate automatically has, or it itself has these libraries present, whatever it requires. So it is not dependent on database library. So whether your database is 12C, whether your database is 11G, whether your database is 18C, whether your database is 19C, or whether your database is 21C, it is not looking for database libraries at all, because Goldengate 21C already has its own libraries present. So it doesn't matter whatever database version you have, it doesn't matter. Goldengate has the required libraries present. Okay. Okay. So now we did the silent installation. I hope, Sridhar, that answers your question. Okay. Now Goldengate installation is completed successfully, the silent installation. So now we go to the location where we have installed Goldengate. So we'll go to data, app, Oracle, product, not Oracle product, OGG underscore TRG. Okay, now the interesting part comes. So how to log into Goldengate prompt? Can anyone tell me? If I have to log into Goldengate prompt right now, how can I do that?
Same as the same way. Dot GGCSI.
Yes. Not GGCA.
/GGSCA. Okay. Now when I do info all now, info all is the command which will tell me what all Goldengate processes are configured in your environment. Now under GGSCA, when I do info all now, I see that the manager is in stopped mode. Why?
Because we have not started it, na? That's
Because
why.
we selected the option of not starting the manager. Right? So,
Yeah, right.
so how to start the manager? So to start the manager, we'll use the option start MGR. But when I do start MGR, it says parameter file does not exist at all. So how do we create the parameter file? So to create the parameter file, we need to do edit param MGR. But again, for creating the parameter file for edit param MGR, I see that this dir prm directory, it says it does not exist at all. So when I exit from this GGSCI, when I do ls-lart, I don't see those directories being created here, like dir dat. Just 1 minute, let me try to maximize it. It's not maximizing. Okay, so I don't see the directories like dir dat, dir prm, dir rpt, etc. I don't see them. Why? Because those directories get automatically created when we choose the option of starting the manager. So when we choose the option of starting the manager, automatically those directories are created. Okay. But because we didn't choose the option of starting the manager, hence those directories are not created. So how can we create those directories? Do I need to create them individually, one by one, like mkdir, dir dat, mkdir, dir prm, mkdir, dir rpt?
No.
Now, there is one more option. What you can do, you can go to GGSCI and run the command create sub dirs. When you do create sub dirs, it will create all the required directories for you. Like dir prm is created, dir chk is created, dir pcs is created. All the required directories, whatever you want to create, are successfully created. These are the directories which are successfully created for you. Now, once these are successfully created, now if you exit and go to your GGSA, it means go to your Goldengate, you can find all of your directories being created. Okay. Now go to GGSCI again. Now manager is still stopped. So what we need to do? We need to start the manager. But we cannot start because first of all, we need to create the parameter file. How do you create the parameter file? Do edit param process name. You will learn more about this in detail. Don't worry. But I'm just giving you an overview right now. So each process in Goldengate has a parameter file associated to it. Okay. And when you create a process parameter file, you run edit param process name. So when it's manager, you do mgr. So once you run this command from GGSCI edit param mgr, mgr.prm gets created inside dir prm directory. So here you can provide the port number on which your target manager would run. So your source manager is running on port number 7809. Your target manager is running on port number 7810. You can have the same port number because these are two different machines. GGate 1 is different, GGate 2 is different. So it doesn't matter if your source manager is running on port number 7809 another Goldengate installation on another machine can run on the same port. But I am providing the different port right now so that purposefully I'm providing so that because we'll be using this port number in multiple configuration and so that you get the idea, better idea, fair idea, which port number you have to use, like whether we are using source port number or target port number. Otherwise, if I use the same port number, what will happen is you will get confused whether we have to provide source port number or target port number. That's why I'm providing the different port number for manager. Okay. Once you are done, save it and close it. Now you can go ahead and start manager. So now once you do start MGR, it says a manager started. Now again, when you do info all, you see that manager is running. Manager is successfully running. So your Goldengate installation on Gate 2 is completed successfully. So Goldengate installation on Gate 2 is completed successfully. Now, there was a very valid question from Saurabh, which was there like, if say for example, you are into an environment where Goldengate is already, but you are not sure from where it is running, how you can identify. So the answer to this question is, you can only identify first of all, if you have any of the Goldengate processes running. So either manager, extract or any other process. And then from the GGSCI, when you log into OS, you can do from OS side. So when we are running this manager or any process, a PID is created at the OS level. So you can do ps-ef grep mgr. So if you want to see whether manager is running in your environment or not, you can do ps-grep mgr and it will tell you at which location your manager processes are running. So in our case, the manager is running one at this location under OGG SRC location, and the another manager is running under OGG_19C. If you want to see whether all the processes are running or not, like what all Goldengate processes are running or not in your environment, you can do ps-ef grep param. So it will show you what all Goldengate related processes are running in it. So because we have only manager process running, that's why it will show you these two processes. So in your system, your Goldengate manager is running from these two locations. One from Data App Oracle OGG SRC and another from Data App Oracle OGG 19C. But the major thing is, like, you may have another question that Ashish, if say for example, Goldengate is completely stopped, is there a way to identify from which location Goldengate is installed at? The answer to that question is no. You need to, if you want to know like from where Goldengate is running from, you can only do if your processes are running. If your Goldengate processes are not running, in that case, you cannot identify at which location your Goldengate is installed at. Only way is to search for different directories from only ways to search different directories and there you can find. Or another option is like you can try to grab GGSCI as well. I'm not sure whether it will. No, grab GGSCI. Like you can search for it. Yeah, you can try to search for GGSCI at OS level. That is another option. Okay. Yeah, Nishchal. You have a question?
Yes, Ashish. Yeah. I have a question. In the response file, if we provided the manager should be started, then in that case, all the directories should be created, or we have to edit a response file. I mean, all
Sorry,
directories should be
I
edited.
didn't understand your question. Can you repeat, Nishchal?
No. My question is, in the response file, while we installing the silent mode, in the response file, if we provide manager should start, I mean,
If
that
we provide start manager as true, then it will
yeah,
start.
it will start. In that case, all directories should created or again.
Yes, So if you choose the option of starting the manager, then here your files will be
Created automatically.
created automatically.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the question. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Okay. So now, if your manager is not starting, say for example, you're facing issues even after doing all these things. So each process in GoldenGate has a report file associated to it. So what you need to do is, if say for example, your manager is not getting started and you need to restart it. So do view report MGR and go at the bottom, so check the reason why it is there. It should show the reason, and then you will understand why it is not starting. Okay, so now once your GoldenGate installation is done successfully. Okay, now what are the different options to install Oracle GoldenGate? Let us discuss about it. So here what we have done is we have installed GoldenGate locally on GGate 1 and GGate 2. So basically the GoldenGate, there are two GoldenGate installations, one on source. So basically right now, so during the later part of the session, we'll be configuring bidirectional as well. So in bidirectional, both access source and both sides access target. But for now, in our case, GGate 1 will act as source and GGate 2 will act as target for us. Okay, so GGate 1 will call it as source, and GGate 2 for now will assume it as target. So in our case, because we have individual source databases and target databases, so what we are going to do is we are going to basically create the GGate 1 and GGate. We are going to we are installing GoldenGate individually, or we are installing GoldenGate locally on the database server, because our database resides on GGate 1 as well as GGate 2. So we are installing GoldenGate on both GGate 1 as well as GGate 2 as well. So now, what are the different options to install Oracle GoldenGate? Let us discuss about it. So before we proceed with that, let us understand few terms. First is local capture. Second is remote capture. Third is local apply. And fourth is remote apply. So these are the four terms which we are going to use. Okay. So what is local capture? So local capture means when database and GoldenGate extract or capture process resides on same server, it is called as local capture. So say for example, your database is on GGate 1 and you configure GoldenGate extract process which captures the data from your GGate 1 database. Then it will be called as local capture. It means that your GoldenGate and database both resides on the same server. It is called as local capture. Remote capture is when your GoldenGate and database, they reside on different server. That means, say for example, your database resides on GGate 1 and GoldenGate reside on some other server like GGate 2. So you configure GoldenGate extract process on GGate 2 to capture the data from database residing on GGate 1. Then it is called as remote. Same way, local apply and remote apply. So local apply means when target database and GoldenGate replicate process reside on same server, it is called as local apply. So say for example, your target database is GGate 2 and GoldenGate replicate process is on same server where it is replicating data. Then it will be local apply. Remote apply means when your target database and GoldenGate replicate process reside on different server, it is called as remote. It means that when your target database and your target database is on GGate 2 and you are configuring GoldenGate replicate process on GGate 1. and through there you are applying the data to GGate2 database. Then it is called as remote apply. So when your replicate process resides on same server as the database server, as the same target server, it is called as local apply. But when your replicate process resides on a different server apart from the target database server, it is called as remote apply. Same way, when your extract process resides on the same server as the database server from where you intend to capture the data from, it is called as local capture. When your database, when your Goldengate extract process resides on some other server apart from the database server from where you intend to capture the data from, then it is called as remote capture. Okay, so these are the 4 terms. So Goldengate, first of all, remember, your extract process can run from some different server and it can capture the data from there. Same way, your replicate process can run from the different server than the database and it can apply the data from there. It is possible. So that's why these terms like local capture, remote capture, local apply, and remote apply. There is one more term which you must have heard a lot, which is called as Goldengate Hub, right? What is Goldengate Hub? So Goldengate Hub is a centralized server on which Goldengate is installed and configured, which can serve multiple source as well as target database. So say for example, you have got one database server here, which is GGate1, for example. Another database server is this. Say, for example, this is GGate2. Then you install Goldengate on some other server, like GGate3, for example. So this is DB1. This is DB2. And this is GGate, Goldengate. Okay. So what is possible is your Goldengate extract process will capture the data from here and from here only. So your Goldengate extract will reside here and the replicate will also reside here. So extract process will capture the data from database 1 and the replicate process will apply the data to the database from the same centralized. Okay. So the advantage of using the Goldengate server as a hub. So this is called as Goldengate Hub. So Goldengate Hub means one Goldengate server can serve more than one database. So if it can serve more than one database, it means that it is Goldengate Hub server. Okay. Now, how does Goldengate Hub server works? So the thing is, your extract process, you will configure Goldengate extract process, which will establish the connectivity to source database, and you will configure Goldengate replicate process here itself, which will establish connectivity with the target database. Okay. So these are the different options. Now the thing is, what are the different options available now for different, like where you can install Oracle Goldengate? What are the different options available? Let me remove this drawing. I'm not sure how do we delete it. Delete. Okay. Clear all my drawings. Okay. Now, what are the different options to install Oracle Goldengate? So first option is, so what is the advantage? First of all, Goldengate Hub is it's easier to manage and maintain. So lesser the number of environments or lesser the number of Goldengate installations are, it will be much more easier for you to manage and maintain, right? So that's why Goldengate Hub is very popular. Okay, so now What are the different options available? So first option is what we are doing right now. You install Goldengate on GGate 1. So we have got two databases, the two database server, basically GGate 1 and GGate 2. Okay. So first option is we install Goldengate on GGate 1 for local capture and on GGate 2 for local apply. Okay. So you will have Goldengate. You have the database server. This is source and this is target database server. So Goldengate will be installed on same server, individual server. So Goldengate on GGate 1 will capture the data from here itself, send it over TCP/IP network, and Goldengate over here will apply the data to the local target database server. So you install Goldengate on local server. So this is called as local capture and local apply. Local capture and local apply means there will be one Goldengate installation which will serve both. There will be two Goldengate installations, one on source and another one on target. Okay, so local capture and local apply. Second option is you install Goldengate on GGate. So in this scenario, in option number 1, there are two Goldengate installations which will be there. Now, second option is you install Goldengate on GGate 1, which will capture the data locally from GGate 1 database and apply the database data to GGate 2 database remotely. So in the second option, what you are doing is you have got two database servers, GGate 1 and GGate 2. And consider they are in some same subnet. Same subnet means same network. So what you can do, instead of installing Goldengate locally, what you are doing is you are installing Goldengate on this server. Okay. Now what you will do is you will consider this as Goldengate hub. Okay. So what will happen is from this server only your extract process will reside and your replicate process will also reside. Only one Goldengate installation. So the extract process configured over here will read the data from this database locally, and the replicate process over GGate 1 will apply the data remotely to GGate 1. Okay. So this GGate 1 server right now is acting as Goldengate hub, right? Goldengate hub is not like you have to have some individual server, separate server. Any server can serve as Goldengate hub, provided it is serving or it is taking care of more than one databases. Then it can be called as a Goldengate hub. So in this scenario, what you are doing, you're installing Goldengate on GGate 1 database, which will receive the changes, which will locally capture the data, but remotely apply the data to GGate 2 database. Okay. So how many Goldengate installations do we need in this option? Can anyone tell me? How many Goldengate installations will be there in option number 2?
Only one.
Only one.
Only one. Right.
Okay,
Now,
Ashish,
third option.
suppose-
The third option is opposite of this. Now, instead of installing Goldengate on GGate 1, what we are doing right now is we'll install Goldengate on GGate 2. This is third option. So I'm discussing about different options to install Goldengate, what you can do. So Goldengate, so database server is GGate 1 and GGate 2. Now what you do, you identify this GGate 2 as Goldengate server. So what do? You configure Goldengate extract process and replicate process over here. So this extract process will capture the data remotely from GGate 1 database, but the replicate process over here will apply the data locally to the target database. So in this scenario, it will be remote capture but local apply. How many Goldengate installations will be there? 1. So in this scenario, Ggate 2 will act as your Goldengate hub. Ggate 2 will act as your Goldengate hub. Okay. Now, apart from this, there is third option. Same thing what we are trying to achieve, but on separate server. Now, instead of installing Goldengate on same server now, and on the existing server, basically, existing database server, what we are doing, we are identifying one more server, which is called as a Goldengate server. So in option number 4, what we will have is the extract and replicate will be configured on Goldengate Hub intermediate server. So this is the intermediate server. So we will be doing remote capture, which will be capturing the data. The extract process will be capturing the data remotely from source database, and the replicate process will apply the data remotely to the target database. So this is called as remote capture and remote apply. So what we are doing is we are doing remote capture as well as remote apply. So option number 4 includes install Goldengate on intermediate server. For example, we call that intermediate server as Ggate 3, which will capture the data remotely from Ggate 1 and apply the data remotely on Ggate 2. Okay. So how many Goldengate installations do we need in this scenario? Option number 4.
1.
One Goldengate installation will serve both Ggate 1 as well as Ggate 2. So option number 2, option number 3, and option number 4, they serve as Goldengate Hub, and only one Goldengate installation will serve our requirement or will help in achieving our. Now, consider a scenario wherein your Ggate 1 and Ggate 2 databases, they are in different subnets. So different subnets means, say for example, I'm working for a government organization. Okay. Now, there is a requirement for me to send some data to the outside vendor, outside client. Some data I need to send to the outside client. Okay. Using Goldengate, I need to perform. Now the thing is, if they are in the same subnets, like if it's government subnets, then they can share the servers, they can share Goldengate. But when, say for example, if they are in different subnets, that means they are not in network, then in that case you cannot use Goldengate softwares, you cannot use same thing, you cannot share the servers as well, right? Because they are in different servers. Your government cannot share your server details, or they cannot share the resources with outside vendor, outside client, right? So in that case, consider this scenario now. Option number 5. What you can do is, so this is Ggate 1, this is Ggate 2. Okay. Now you have databases over here. So what you do in the source side, in the government side, they didn't allow you to install Goldengate on local server. So what do? You identify another server, for example, Ggate 3. Okay. So what you are going to do is you install Goldengate on Ggate 3 for source. It will capture the data remotely from source database, and on target, it will send the data to target side, send the trail files, and Goldengate installed locally on this side will apply the data locally to the target database. So the thing is, this Ggate 3 is government server. They cannot share it with anyone. Like they cannot share this with this, so they cannot do like the replicate configured over here, remotely apply the data. No, it cannot do, because it's in different subnet. So what you are doing, you are remotely capturing the data, but applying the data locally on the target server. Okay. Same way, the other option is option number 6. So option number 5 is install Goldengate on intermediate server, example Ggate 3, which will capture the data. No, not this one. This is the 5th one. Sorry. This is the one. Install Goldengate on intermediate server, example Ggate 3, which will capture the data remotely from GGate 1, but install Goldengate on GGate 2 for local. Okay. Now the question may come, why we are doing it on separate server? See, many a times what happens, see, Goldengate is a product which is external to the database. Now, many organizations may not be comfortable in sharing the resources with the data. They may not be sharing the, they may not be comfortable in sharing the Goldengate resource with the data. Right? So that's why you're installing Goldengate on remote server, which will capture the data remotely and apply the data locally to the GGate 2 database. Now, the last option, option number 6, is somewhat same, but vice versa. So you have the databases, source database GGate 1. Sorry for my drawing, guys. My real-time drawing is also very bad, just like this. So don't think like, because I'm working on system, that's why it's bad. Okay. So you have source and target databases, GGate 1 and GGate 2. Now what you are doing, you on source side, on the government side, you are installing Goldengate on GGate 1. Okay, that is local capture. So extract will be capturing the data locally, send it over TCP/IP network. Now on target side, they are not allowed to install Goldengate on database server. So what they have done, they have created a separate server like GGate 3. So the replicate process will reside on this server. So the Goldengate will deliver the data to GGate 3, the trail files, and here the replicate process will be configured and it will apply the data remotely to the GGate 2 database. Okay, so this is called as local capture and remote apply. This will be called as local capture but remote apply. So how many Goldengate installations do you need in option 5 and 6?
Two.
Two Goldengate installations are required on GGate 1 as well as GGate 2. So these are the 6 options to install Oracle Goldengate. Now my quick question to you. For maximum performance with means minimum lag, which option do you think you would choose? Whether you would choose option number 2, option number 1, or option number 2, or option number 3, 4, 5, or 6. Which option you would choose for maximum performance?
Where we are using a separate server for GG and only one installation.
I'm talking about maximum performance.
Yeah, here we will get maximum performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Goldengate Hub.
Okay. Yeah, Dipali, you want to answer or you have some question?
The first one, where locally both are happening.
Exactly, guys. See, maximum performance means is you will be having minimum lag. So the thing is, in all other options, you have lot of network dependencies, right? So it is completely dependent on network. But in option number 1, when you are doing like local capture, that means locally it will extract the data and locally it will apply the data. Then network bandwidth is only required while transferring the data over the network. But in this scenario, what will happen is the capture will also happen locally and the apply will also happen locally. But in remote one, what will happen? The capture along with the transferring the data over the network, you also have to capture the data remotely and apply the data over remotely. And when it's over the network, it becomes network dependent. Hence, you cannot say that the maximum performance will be achieved in this scenario. Maximum performance can only be achieved when you install Goldengate local. So when you are going, so say for example, when your requirement is to achieve maximum performance and customer requirement is to achieve the best performance, in that case, you will always propose local capture or local apply. You will always provide them the solution for local capture and local apply. But another question is, for maintaining Oracle Goldengate, which option is best? for managing, maintaining Golden Gate.
Ashish, I am having few questions.
Wait,
Dipali.
wait, Dipali, let other answers. You can answer my question as well. So my question is, for maintenance wise, which one is very easy to maintain?
Hub, Ashish.
So
To
out
keep
of these
separate mission.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which option would be the easiest to manage and maintain?
Third one.
Okay, why third? So third is this.
Only one golden gate, and with one server we can achieve some storage requirement easily, and also handling one golden gate services is easy more than handling 2 or 3.
Okay. Anyone else? So guys, my question is maximum.
I think number 4. I think number 4, because you see it will capture,
Yes.
but installing a local apply.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Anyone else?
apply. Yeah.
Yeah, fourth one is best. So it will capture from the source and then it will apply in remote. So
Okay.
fourth one is best.
So guys, why not second and third option? See, you answered it correctly that when you do it from one server, it's easier to manage and maintain. So option number 1 and 2 also have option number 2 and 3 are also same, right? Option number 2 and 3 also will achieve the same thing what you are mentioning with option number 4 or option number 3, because you have only one Golden Gate installation, one Golden Gate server, which can manage your multiple source or target database. So for option number 2, 3, and 4, so whatever you can classify as Golden Gate Hub will be best for management and maintaining Oracle Golden. Okay.
So you're telling just a minute, you're telling all 3 options are the same.
Yes, exactly. For maximum, like for easier to manage and maintain.
No, my question is, see, second option, you have mentioned data locally from GGate 1, correct?
Correct.
Third one, you are mentioning data remotely. So there is a difference. There should be difference from locally remotely apply, right?
Yes, there is a different how it is getting applied. But my question is, which one is easiest to manage and maintain? My question is not performance or anything else. My question is, which one is easiest to manage?
Oh, I thought from the performance angle. Okay, got it.
Okay. So easiest to manage and maintain is option 2, 3, and 4 will work in the same way. So whatever you can classify as Golden Gate Hub, you can consider it as same. Okay. Now, when you install Oracle Golden Gate, you can install it on any platform which is supported, any database, whatever is supported as well. Okay. So I'll take all the questions, whatever you have, but for those who wants to drop off, let me quickly tell you. So the guys, next session we'll be doing next week, same timing. So the next session will be on Saturday, 17th August. And in the next session, we'll be discussing about prerequisites to set up Oracle Golden Gate. We'll be adding the credential store. We'll be discussing about what and why supplemental logging. Then we'll be setting up Oracle Golden Gate replication. So we'll be configuring Golden Gate extract, data pump, and replicate process. Okay. So prior to the next session, what you have to do is you have to complete the lab setup. You have to install Golden Gate on both GGate 1 and GGate 2 as we did. So try both silent as well as GUI installation. Also try to install Golden Gate 19C as well as 21C both. Guys, practice is really very important. Whatever we have done today, I understand you must have been able to follow. But the thing is, once you practice, that's where the real game starts. So you need to practice, and once you practice, trust me, all your questions, all your issues will be cleared, and things will remain imbibed in your mind forever. Okay, so now if I have to quickly recap what we discussed in today's session is, so in today's session, we started with downloading the Golden Gate binaries. So first of all, we checked Golden Gate certification matrix. So we checked the binaries, we checked the platform details, what we have, database details. Then we proceeded to check the certification matrix. Once we check the certification matrix, we downloaded the binary and then we invoked the run installer. So then we also discussed about different installation requirements related to Oracle Goldengate, like what is hardware requirement, what is OS level requirement. We discussed about that. And then database level prerequisites are there, which we'll be discussing in the next session. Okay. Then we also discuss about both GUI as well as silent installation of Oracle Goldengate. And then so manager process is the default for Oracle Goldengate. So each Goldengate installation comes with one manager process. Okay. And then we discuss about different options to install Oracle Goldengate. So we discuss about local capture, remote capture, local apply, remote apply as well. Then just to let you know, okay, so we have the databases which we have on these servers on GGate 1 and GGate 2. So the databases which we have got multi-tenant databases, and in these databases we have got the source database name is, the container database name is OGG DB1 on select name from $V database. OGG DB1 is the container database on source. Same way OGG DB2 is the container database on target. Under it, we have got pluggable database as PDB1. Under OGG DB1, we have got pluggable database as PDB1, and on GGate 2, the pluggable database name is PDB2. Okay. Now under PDB, so how do we connect? So when we by default connects, for those who are new to multi-tenant, so when we directly connects to the database, we connects to the container database. Now to connect to the pluggable database, you can do alter session set container equal to PDB1. So now we are connected to pluggable database. So in this pluggable database, so under pluggable database, all your application schema and objects reside. So under PDB1, we have got schema as GG training 1 and the password is welcome. Connect GG training 1 / welcome 1 @PDB1. Okay, and on GGate 2, we have got the username as GG training 2. Okay, and under PDB1, under GG training 1, we have got two tables. Select star from tab. Select star from tab. So we have got two tables, DEPT11 and EMP. On target, we have got table names as DEPT22 and EMP22. So basically, what we are going to do is, we are going to replicate the data from PDB1. So pluggable container database name is OGG DB1 and target is OGG DB2. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are going to replicate the data from pdb1.ggtraining1.dept11 to target pdb2.ggtraining2.dept2. Same way, source pdb1.ggtraining1.emp11 data will be replicated to pdb2.ggtraining2.emp22. Now, one more thing in Goldengate, that is the best part with Goldengate. That in Goldengate, you can have same names between source and target, or you can have different names as well between source and target. So it's not mandatory for you to have same schema name, same object name, or same database name between source and target. You can have different names as well between source and target in Oracle Goldengate replication, and Goldengate works for it. So I have purposefully defined different names here. You can have same names as well, but I have purposefully defined different names here. Okay, so as a practice for next session, what you have to do is, you have to set up the lab and you have to install Oracle Goldengate. So in the next session now, we'll discuss about prerequisite to set up Oracle Goldengate, and then we'll move subsequently to set up Oracle Goldengate replication. Okay. So yeah, Dipali, you had a question, you can ask.
First one is means I want to ask that performance only for hub server, but suppose now you told that hub server having not much performance according to local replication. So how can we achieve the performance on hub server?
So
If any
see,
critical
performance on the hub server, it's not like, see, when we have to commit something, okay. So if, say for example, customer is asking for the best performance, okay. So what you can get locally, you cannot get, like, definitely as a layman, what you can get locally is best in comparison to network. Now to make it best at the hub server, because it is network dependent, you can tune your network, and based on that you can achieve your requirement. But again, if the requirement is to achieve something in a defined SLA, okay, where network is dependent, it becomes a little bit difficult, because see, if network is down or if network glitch happens even for a minute, then the replication would be stuck and you may miss the SLA. So that's why we always say, see, if it's network dependent, when it's on the hub server, it becomes network dependent. Then of course, the only thing to tune is your network and increase your resources on the hub server. That's the best thing you can do. Apart from that, there are other normal performance related things which you will be achieving. But at the network side, you can do that. Okay.
Okay. And storage for this hub server is shareable, or each database having some dedicated storage for there?
Yes, so that is the advantage. You share the resources, right? You share like whatever resources you have, like CPUs, OS level, or space, everything you share in that. So you have to define, say, for example, you have 5 different databases for which you have to set up Goldengate. You have to request for space accordingly, because if, say, for example, you have requested for 500 GB for one particular database, then you need to ensure that you add more space so that it doesn't hamper your other running Goldengate environment for other databases.
Okay, got it. And what about, means I'm a bit confused regarding log mining process and pump process. Means if it is hub server, where log mining should be on server only, or means it can be on hub
Okay,
server, or
so this log mining part will be clear to you. So integrated extract, you don't do anything. Automatically, the log miner gets created once you register your extract process. So once we configure Goldengate extract process, probably in the next session, your question will be answered.
Okay, means same for pump process, right?
Pump process doesn't have any log. Wait for your query until the next session. It should be answered.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Joydeep, your hand is raised. You can ask your question.
Hi. See, my question first question is when you did silent installation, there is a mention of database binaries. Okay, what is the requirement for that? Because you are going 19C, right? Sorry, 21. In that you don't need database location because it has got its own binaries, right?
Yes. So the thing is, you only require database client in that case. So database binaries are required if you are installing Goldengate on local server. Now, when you are installing Goldengate on remote server, so what happens is Goldengate uses TNS entry. So the whole purpose for Goldengate to have the database library binaries, or why it was looking for database binaries for, is it uses database libraries until 19C. But from 21C, it automatically the binaries itself has these required libraries.
Yes, it has got its own binaries. But that is what I am asking. Then while doing silent installation for 21C, why there is a entry in the response file for database location? That is what I am
It's not the database location, it's for the instant client. It refers to the location for this libraries which automatically comes with Oracle Goldengate. So it's instant client location which it refers to.
Okay. Okay, I got you. And my second question is the last scenario what you have discussed, both the capture and the replication process is happening in a remote this thing. Okay, so hub especially. So in that case, say for example, when you do a multiple uh, uh, gold replication, okay, so how your trail file and other will be managed? This
Okay.
will there be a different directory for different replication, or it will fall on the same? Okay.
Again, this part we'll discuss once we do the setup. Your question will be answered.
Okay. Okay.
But that is a good
Okay.
question, I should say. But
Mhm.
hold on to your question for next 1 or 2 sessions.
Okay, okay. And the last question is, you have asked to set up a lab. So I do not have any server or this thing. How will I practice those? Is there any way I can
So
log
these
on to this?
virtual boxes which I have shared with you,
Mhm.
these virtual boxes you can install it on your local machine. So you don't need any server,
Okay.
anything. You just need to download and import these
Okay.
on your
Okay.
machine.
So also, is it required for VM installation also in the my local laptop? I
Yes,
mean
these
my
are the
laptop.
virtual boxes. So
Mhm.
you just need to download them and install it on your machine. That's it.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Sini has a question. What kind of maintenance carried out by a GG environment? Like maintenance, see, setup is one thing, maintaining is another, right? Maintaining is very important. So say, for example, your Goldengate your trail files are getting piled up. So how do you maintain your environment? You have to, just like your archive logs which are generated, right? You have to ensure that they get purged from the system. In same way, the trail files which are generated, you have to ensure that they should get purged from the system. So maintenance, apart from that, it comes your Goldengate environments runs properly. Anything which is like, which is seem alarming to you, critical to you, you should ensure you are taking care of it. Okay. Yeah, Arun, you can ask your question.
Ashish, you just showed me that the process running for Goldengate, right? So it's just the MGR, just PS-grep MGR manager process, or apart from that, any other services we need to check it on regular basis?
No, so see, if each process in Goldengate has a process ID attached to it. So basically, they run at OS level as well. So you can check if you want to check like what all Goldengate processes are running in your environment. Just do ps-ef-grep. What I showed you, like ps-ef-grep param. When you do, it will show you what all processes are running in your environment. Now to check what. Now, whenever you are managing Goldengate, you will be managing Goldengate from GGSCI, not from OS level. So you don't need to check anything at OS level apart from this. If in, say for example, you have to kill any process, you can use OS if you are unable to kill it from GGSCA. But apart from that, at OS level, we don't do much monitoring, or we don't put much checks at OS level.
So to check on the remote machine process as well, so the same grep PRM, right?
What do you mean by remote machine?
I mean, the Goldengate 1 running process, the Goldengate 2, we want to check it. So
Yes,
just
yes, yes.
PS-grep.
Yes, yes. Any environment where Goldengate processes are running, you need to run ps-ef-grep.
Can you just show me that thing once?
We should discuss, right? So ps-ef-grep, same thing. ps-ef-grep, and you can do param. It will show you what all processes are running in your environment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. One last question. So we can install this SQL server, or it's already installed into this?
We can install. I didn't get your question.
No, the SQL databases. I mean, the Oracle database has been installed. So, or the software has been there in the respective path.
No, so this database is already installed. You have to install Goldengate. You have to start from Oracle Gold. Database is already
Okay.
installed.
Okay, so when I'm connecting to this SQL Plus, it's not making a connection establishment. So any specific password we have to, it's configured with any security
So
password or it's
check the lab setup kit
okay.
document which is there on
Okay.
Poster. It has all the passwords.
Okay.
And if you are still facing any issue, you can post in the group and we'll take it from there.
Sure, definitely. Thank you, Ashish. That's it.
Now there is a question from Narayana. In some organization, we don't have GUI console. In this case, how to get the response file? So if you don't have GUI console, you can create your Sophie, your response file always comes. So go to Goldengate home. Sorry, Goldengate /home/Oracle/softwares. Here go to OGG underscore classic underscore 21C. Here go to FBO disk 1. Here go to response. So you have got a response, cd response. Here you have got OGG core.rsp. So you can edit it according to your requirement, and then you can use it. Okay. Or you can copy your response file from your development server and then use it, whatever way you want to do. Okay. Yeah, Sada, you have a question? Sada, do you have a question?
Hello.
Yeah, Sada, tell me.
Is it Ashish? Is it me now?
Yes,
My
yes.
turn. Okay.
Yes.
Apart from what I have posted in the chart, I want to know about the hub architecture where Golden Gate is on its own server and doing remote extract and remote replicate. In any point in our training, would we go through the installation steps like configuring a client on the middle server, installing Golden Gate on it, and then putting the TNS entries,
Yes,
those kind of stuff.
This is what we are discussing. We'll be discussing all these things. Yeah.
We will go through those steps somewhere in the training.
Yes. You will get all that understanding. Yes.
Okay, that's all I want to know. But I have posted something in the chart. Would you please take a look whenever you can?
So you are saying I need to set a GG on enterprise Linux machine. Could you
Yeah.
provide information about how can I prepare Oracle Linux 9 machine? And how can I prepare Windows machine when my source is Windows and target is Oracle? So the thing is, like, to be very honest, Sada, I'm not an expert in this. Like, if you want to do it for work, right? So you don't
Yes.
have any other, like, you don't have any OS admin available for it.
They are there, but they prepare the machine for 19 Oracle installation or 21, or they do that. In addition to that, what all I need to do to make those servers work for Golden Gate,
So
that
this
part
is
they will take. OS
so
part for database version they will take.
so they will basically create a machine for you, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so when they create the machine, so whatever we are discussing after that, you will be doing that. So we haven't discussed about how to set up any process, etc. So once we do that, you will get the understanding about that.
Yeah. About Windows also.
Windows works in the same way. You will have all that understanding.
Oh, okay.
The way
Then I have
Golden
no
Gate, the
problem.
best part with Golden Gate is the way Golden Gate works in Oracle database in the same way it works in non-Oracle database. The way Golden Gate works for Linux in the same way it works for any other platform, whether it is Windows, Sun Solaris, or any other platform.
Yeah.
So you will have all that understanding.
Yeah, if I get the understanding of Windows, I will be okay. The reason is my source would be Windows and target would be Linux.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. You will
Okay.
have.
Then I don't have any problems. Thank you.
Okay. Now there is a question, what is the difference between integrated or non-integrated? You will get all that understanding when we do the setup, Sridhar. If any database server is down, how to check GoldenGate services installed or not? So we are checking the GoldenGate processes only at OS level. We haven't discussed anything about database. So only like ps-ef grep when you are doing, you can check whether GoldenGate is running or not on your environment. At the database level, we haven't discussed or checked anything yet. Okay. Any other question from anyone? So guys, next session we'll be doing next Saturday, and the link, say timing will be same, and the link you can directly join from the app from there. So when I start, so the link is always dynamic. It's not like I also don't know the link. So when I start the session, the dynamic link is generated, and then you also get the notification, so you can directly join from the app. Okay, so let us wrap up
Ashish?
our, yeah, Gupteshwari.
Yeah, Ashish, I have one question. See, when we installed 19C GG software, so during that time, we need to export the library path. So when we started the GGSCI, that interface, we got the error like we need to export the library that I forgot the exact, the keyword. Okay, LPN something. Okay. So yeah, it's a Oracle databases. So we know and we exported it and we started the GGSCI. Okay, but if it is some other databases, suppose like MS SQL or Windows, in that case, what will be like the same way it will throw the error. So in that, the library path we need to export it.
No. Then it doesn't uses your libraries. No. So in SQL Server, etc., it doesn't uses your database library. LD library path you need to only export only for Oracle data.
For Oracle only.
Yes, correct. Good point.
What are you getting my point? What I'm pointing. The one actually I forgot that that exact. There is one library, right? It was throwing the error that you
Yes.
cannot start
So you
it.
don't have those.
Okay.
See, binaries are created. Binaries are separate for each database. So for Oracle, it is very different. SQL Server, it is different. MySQL, it is different. So in SQL Server, you don't. So this LD library path concept is only there for Oracle database. It is not there for SQL Server or MySQL or any other database.
Okay. See, if we are installing 21C GG, then it is already by default the things are coming all together. So anyway, we will not face any issue.
See, SQL Server doesn't have the concept of libraries. So in fact, when you install GoldenGate for SQL Server, it doesn't ask for which version you want to install it for. So basically, it's not library dependent. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, if no more questions are there, let us wrap up our session for today. And we'll continue
one more
next
question
week.
on my
Guys,
side.
just 1 minute. Just to let you know, this is the weekend classic architecture batch. So weekend microservices will start after this is completed. But for those, like prior to this, I had a weekday classic. So for them, I'll be starting weekday microservices from 21st of August. So you are also added, you might be added to the WhatsApp group. So you will get the notification that the microservices batch is starting, but that microservices batch is for weekday. So if you want to attend, you can definitely attend. But my recommendation is, because you are learning still classic architecture, so complete classic architecture first and then attend microservices, because your microservices will also come. So my weekday and weekend batches runs regularly. So weekday classic is completed. So for them, I'm also starting weekday microservices because weekday classic is completed. And for you guys, because you have just started weekend classic, so weekend microservices will follow classic architecture. This is just for the information. So over the WhatsApp group, you may find the notification on microservices group. So microservices group is different to classic. So each course has its own group. So microservices has its own group, Classic has its own group, and Veridata has its own group. So in microservices group, you may find the notification that microservices is starting, but don't worry about it. Okay, that's why I just wanted to tell you.
Ashish,
Okay, yeah, Narayan.
is there
Narayan, you had a
anything like
question?
Yes,
Just
sir.
1
Yes, sir.
minute.
I have one question.
Yeah.
If any server is rebooted and in this server GG is running, after rebooted, how to check the your GG is there or not? We can check the PSEF grep param only, or you can check any other way.
So if you want to see like from where Goldengate is running from, for that Goldengate needs to be running, and you can do PS-EF grep param.
Okay. Okay. If it is server is rebooted, means that manager also down. In
Yes,
this case, you can check the only param file, PSEF grep PRM, PRAM. Okay. Means we have the I mean 1,000, 2,000 servers. Okay, we got the alert. The server is rebooted. Our Goldengate team asking here whether Goldengate services are running or not. You can check the like this only any other way.
The PS-EF grep param. Okay.
Okay,
But
Ashish.
Ashish, see, as per my concept, I'm not sure whether I'm wrong or right. Can you tell me? See, this is not, the GG is not dependent to Oracle database, right? So if the DB is going down, maybe the sync will get break. But it's, as per the concept, the services the services of Goldengate should be running, right?
See this question, because Goldengate processes establishes connectivity with the database. Now, if databases are down, Goldengate cannot run, extracts and replicate. So basically, if your database is down, Goldengate will be down. If your server is rebooted, your manager will be down. So Goldengate will completely be down. You will understand. See, we haven't done any configuration yet. So once we do the configuration, your understanding will develop. Okay.
And Ashish, if somebody wants to join microservices class, suppose is this like the concept is, the classic concept and microservices concept is dependent on each other. Like once somebody like someone can parallelly start it, or
Yes, you can learn parallelly. See, microservices is extension of classic. So once you have classic understanding and knowledge, like what we are discussing now, you will get microservices course also starts from beginning itself. So even if you want to start with microservices, you can do that. No worries. But yeah, my recommendation always is first complete classic, then learning microservices becomes easy because you are able to relate. So my recommendation always is first learn classic and then learn microservices. Learning microservices becomes pretty easy.
okay. Thank you. Thanks for
Okay. Okay. So any other question? Any other thing? If no more questions are there, let us wrap up our session for today. Okay. So let us wrap up our session for today, guys. And next session is next week, same time. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.